you doing today?
I'm doing great, yeah.
I am so excited today. Today I'm speaking to Kevin Cole, and I'm really excited. He's doing a live training, master practitioner training, and he's a Society of NLP trainer, and I'm pretty sure you know who he is. How you doing? What's going on?
I'm doing great. Yeah, it's quite honestly, it's a pleasure to finally meet you.
Me too.
Yeah, I've done a couple other trainings here in Las Vegas, and as I mentioned, one of your someone that actually is involved with your group actually is one of my students, and he's spoken very, very highly of you.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Well, I'm so glad to meet you too. There's not very many of us that are Society of NLP in Las Vegas, and I think you and I are the only two on the list actually, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's great to get together with you and even shoot some ideas around and see what we can come up with, eh?
Absolutely.
What about
Absolutely.
that?
Yeah.
So what are you doing in Las Vegas now? You're doing an NLP training. What kind of training are you doing? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I've been doing the practitioner and master practitioner training. We're almost finished with it. This is actually tomorrow's the last day.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's been a great course. It's been really very powerful. Actually, did some really great work with one of the students last night that was going through.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So you get to, so as well as doing the Master Pack training, you're also getting to do some breakthrough work with your students as well.
Yeah.
And they're finding it life-changing, is that right?
That's
Isn't
the
that
words life-changing.
empowering?
I love it. Yeah. It's well, as you know, I know I'm preaching to the choir on this one. It's like people say, do you get tired? Do you get drained? And I say, no. When it's working,
Invigorating.
yeah,
right?
it's like it's only challenging if you hit a little bump here and there, and then but then once it all comes together, it's just like recharged. Yeah.
It happens. I mean, you do hit some bumps.
Yeah, but that's part of it.
It's part of it, and it's growth, I think.
Yeah.
With all the bumps that I've hit in doing NLP training and coaching and so on, it's been great learning experience.
Yeah.
That has helped, down the line or even instantly somewhere. Where are you originally from?
Originally from California. I was.
Where in California?
Well, I was born in LA, raised in a suburb called Thousand Oaks. And moved around a lot since then. I lived in New York for about 3.5 years.
I love New York.
I had a love-hate relationship with it.
Wow, so what happened?
No, I loved it. It. It's just that it's I understand
pricey, expensive.
It's expensive,
Yeah.
but I understand why the song, if you can make it there, you can make it
that's
anywhere.
right. I love Tony Robbins. A lot of people don't like him.
A lot of people don't like him, and sometimes they understand some of the reason behind it, but I have to give him credit.
I tell you what, listen, hand over fist, Tony Robbins stays doing good business.
Yeah.
Like him or love him, he's, the economy's not hurting him.
Well,
maybe it's different than it was before, but he's still doing quite well, isn't he?
He's doing quite well. He's a business like anyone else.
Yeah.
Every business is having to modify their approach.
That's it.
But he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
He's actually, and listeners might even find this valuable, is he's understanding that he needs to shift his business model as far as doing a lot more internet marketing, because as you know, he used to be the infomercial guru. People aren't watching TV anymore; they're watching the internet.
Yeah.
And so he's a smart guy. He knows how to change his approach when it's not working.
I saw him do a commercial with Frank Kern.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see it?
Yes, yeah, that's actually.
That's always phenomenal. I love Frank Kern anyway.
He's about
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I think he's doing it. I think Tony Robbins is him and who is it? Kawasaki. What's his first name?
Oh, Robert Kawasaki.
Robert Kawasaki.
Yeah.
I think those two. I see them as like top marketers, tweeters, and really changing with the economy. I think a little bit off topic. Robert Kawasaki even wrote a book recently about how important it was to be genuine and to focus on love and stuff like that, which I thought was quite interesting as a marketer. What do you think about that?
It actually is kind of interesting to hear the Robert Kiyosaki focusing on that. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. He's a marketer, so I'm sure it's partly a pitch, but we all evolve into different things that things become more important to us and understand things on different levels. Maybe he's just going through that phase where he's realizing that perhaps that's what he needs to help people to focus on, you know, because especially in this economy, people know that they need to focus on their money. Maybe he's helping them to realize that, you know, hey, that, you know, the economy's going to get better, and down the road it's going to get worse again. You know, it's, you know, get back to the core issues, you know, core stuff. So.
How are you finding the economy is affecting your clients? Are you finding more depression or?
Not necessarily depression, but with the private. Interestingly enough, the private practice generally picks up when the economy gets bad, because it's you know, because it's more affordable for people.
Yeah.
But in general, you know, just, you know, stress, anxiety, you know, some depression, but not really hardcore depression. But I mean, you know, I'm sure you see it as well. It's like, you know, I've had a couple of clients that, you know, they lost.
So I've seen so many people lose so much.
Yeah. At the same time, like it's kind of, I mean, from my perspective, it's interesting because, you know, they might have lost $1 million and they lose track of the fact that they still have $3 million. And so my job is to help them to recognize you still have so much. And,
well, they don't feel like it though, do they? I was having a conversation with a friend about this the other day, how we were talking about businesses that were holding on to funds, you know, instead of investing possibly in turning the economy around. And I think that even people at a great level of wealth comparatively are becoming sort of trapped in that fearful hopelessness kind of feeling, where they're sort of in analysis paralysis of what to do. Are you noticing that or not?
I'm definitely noticing that. I'm noticing a lot of that. You know, people are scared. And even with even things that are interesting. I had 2 students that were actually going to join this course, but because of the combination of the economy, she was okay with the economy, but because of what's going on over to Japan, that fear, and you know, there's just so much fear going on right now.
Yeah.
And
it's the unexpected, isn't it?
Exactly.
We don't, you know, we can't sort of. It's that certainty, that lack of certainty that people really like, as they call it, stability, right?
Exactly.
Which is a state of mind anyway, isn't it?
Exactly. And
so what advice do you have then for our viewers? What could you say? What are you telling your clients? And
my knee-jerk reaction is relax. You know, it's part of life. But
a lot of hypnosis.
No, quite honestly, I'm very much about just really. I'm not so big on talking about it because they've heard it. You know, people say, you know, you need to relax. You need to, even the love thing. You know, people say.
Do you think books like that are helping right now?
Books like the Robert
Kiyosaki. Yeah.
Well, I haven't read it, so I can't really say for sure.
Because I'm kind of wondering if, I haven't read the whole book either. I'm kind of wondering if turning our attention and focus to the things that really are important, family and friends, good health, and internal happiness, different worldview, and focusing on, you know, well, I think like a lot of the people had such an attachment to the stuff that there's a chance now to figure out, well, who am I without this stuff?
And I think it comes down to being able to guide them through the experience. Well, in general, what I mean by the experience is a quote, it's a Chinese proverb, which is "Tell me and I'll forget, show me and I may remember, involve me, give me the experience, and I'll understand." So what I recommend people do is really imagine just kind of stepping outside of themselves, and you know, literally stepping into, whether it be a role model, or if you really want to experience the love aspect of Robert Kiyosaki. An exercise that I do, it's actually, you're probably familiar with it, it's originally created by Richard Bandler's first wife, Leslie LeBeau. Powerful exercise. You could probably Google it. And
she's got some good stuff going on, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Out there. You know, 3 of her books, I think.
Yeah, and it's just an exercise that basically just has you step outside. Imagine stepping outside of yourself and stepping into someone that loves you. And what does that do? That gets us outside of our own self-talk and, you know, how we're driving ourselves crazy, and gets you into a completely different perspective. And to quote Wayne Dyer, who's quoting an unknown quantum physicist, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So it really is just a matter of, you know, being able to change our perspective on things and not just talking about it, because I don't believe that just talking about it works. We've got to actually experience it.
Yeah.
And so.
Off topic a little bit, what did you think about The Secret?
It's funny. I have, speaking of love-hate relationship.